right, welcome to the inaugural Booze and Views Town Hall. I'm John Shrek McPhee, the Sheriff of Baghdad, and we have a panel of judges. There's only so many of them. They get to ask me questions about Afghanistan. I'm going to tell you what I think. They get to ask the question. The only rule I gave them was they had to raise their hand, right? So, okay. The way this is going to start is, hold on. I got to pull up my official Afghanistan picture. Look at that good looking guy right there. Look at that. Woo, okay. So, trolling for Taliban over here, that's for sure. Look, Afghanistan, man, in the beginning of the war, it was crazy. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people died overall, right? I know a lot of people died. I mean, and I don't know how many it is, right? It's more than you could count. I don't even know, right? I can't even tell you. I mean, but think about this. The Afghans lost that every year, way more than us. You know what I mean? So, in the beginning, I think the only way we could have been successful in Afghanistan, in my being there in the early years before Afghanistan was tainted, is you go into these towns, you live there, and you give them goat medicine, you fix their kids, you live with them, and you send them to school. And in that school, anything that says death to America is not allowed. Like, it's just that simple, right? And then think about this. We were there 20 years. We could have trained probably from 30 under to love us, and that a free society is a great society. You think they would have just walked away because the Taliban showed up? That type of stuff is hard to kill, because I'll shut up in color, but one day I get to, because I know how to read, you can't keep me in the dark, right? So I think that's the only way we could have been successful. I think the pullout's a shit show. I think that's just bad planning. I think it makes us bad neighbors. We fucking come in, we fucking kick ass. I show you my judo chop. You know what I mean? We'll kill all the bad guys, and then you're gonna die hanging off an airplane at 300 feet because you were afraid to let go. Not fucking fair, right? We're so bad to our friends. And like, how long are we just gonna be? I mean, think about if I did this living next door to one of you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, like, we are bad, bad neighbors. And then, my last piece to all of it is, why the fuck did we equip a 300,000 man army with everything our soldiers have to fucking give up to the Taliban in a day and a half? Because obviously you forgot about the way ISIS came across Iraq when we left. You know what I mean? The Taliban was just like, oh, if ISIS could do it in like a week, like, this would take us like 3 days. We're the only guys here, right? Everyone else is just fucked. So obviously we forgot about ISIS, right? But we will be fighting these weapons for the next fucking 50 years. We'll be fighting dudes with our shit. And then don't even get me started about fucking China and Russia walking in, because I've already seen pictures with the Taliban with a Chinese rep. Right? Oh, by the way, they beheaded a CNN reporter, I think today, trying to escape the city. Didn't get on an airplane, right? Every girl that was in a school is going to be either A, she's going to shut up in color for the rest of her life under a burqa, or they're cutting her head off. It's coming. They don't give a fuck. And if they're backed by the Chinese ain't going to stop them. And I can't even believe the Chinese are going there, because the Chinese don't allow Chinese Muslims. What the fuck's up with that? So, look, hey, how many of you guys are veterans of Afghanistan? Raise your hand. Yeah, dude. Hey, let it go. They ain't never going to be the D-Day. You know, D-Day's gonna have the fucking 80th and the 100th fucking celebration, right? You ain't never walking the streets of Kabul, my friend. So be prepared to either let go or get shit on forever. Like, it's their only choice, man. Because just like we shit on them people, the fucking government's gonna shit on you as well. So you might as well let it go and try to move on. All right. What's your questions? Like, I'm sure I missed something, man. Okay, hold on. Chris, go first.
So, reading Kill Bin Laden a couple times, it seemed like he was kind of saying that those of you, or whoever was there at the time, kind of the first move into the country, probably could have gotten Bin Laden if it weren't held up by Langley in politics. Is that true? Or what are your thoughts on it?
Okay, having been there, I didn't say this. I believe Greg Birch said this, right? Ironhead. I believe he said this. He said it took 10 guys, 10 days to take what the Russians never could, right? Having said that, the Afghans own time, we own a watch. So no matter what we do, it would have never been enough. It had never been enough. In inhospitable terrain, which no one wants to go. You notice how the big army don't want to go play in Afghanistan? Because you can't drive tanks in that piece, so they're out. You know what I mean? And now that army don't walk nowhere, fuck, our trucks don't fit there, we ain't going. That's why Iraq was much quicker, right? So I would say this is, if 10 guys did mission 1 in 10 days, what does that say for the jihad and recruiting? Or we pay everybody on all sides and we keep the spigot for funding open forever, for 20 years. Make sense? So, I don't know, man. I mean, we'll never know those answers, but I definitely feel like, having been there, that something was up. All right. Who's next? Dang, and you hear the rain? You guys hear that? It's like rain out of nowhere. Don't want me talking about Afghanistan. Spitting that fire. All right. Ken, go ahead.
In hindsight, knowing what you know and being over there and just seeing all that you saw, do you think future struggles in those type of areas, we should just go in and break things and then leave? Because I'm not sure over the 20 years that we're coming away with anything that's going to be material or that's going to make a difference long term. So
yeah,
just wonder what your thought, because you committed all the blood and the sweat and the equity over there.
I would say this: you can't be half pregnant. You want to win or you don't. Your call. The hey, we're gonna have a surge. We're plussing up 3,000 troops. Like, yo, how many we got? We're still paying anyway. We spent $1 trillion. But think about this. Maybe if we would have sent more guys at one time and sealed off the whole place, and then went through everybody, we could have been in a better place and then left. Then again, maybe we should have never went in. Right? Like, so I would say this is like, you can't be half pregnant. Either you want to win this or you don't. You can't play the middle, and don't even try to play the middle. Look at what it always costs the Pentagon. Look how those guys always look with this I mean, come on, you can't tell me this isn't a string of bad decisions. A lot of people with good intent. But come on, you can't tell me this didn't end up poorly. How are we, look, we're horrible neighbors, man. And there's people there to help people that are gonna die because they believe their daughter should read. Think about that. Girls are going to die because they learn to read. Right? Because that's how you get rid of anybody who likes America. You fucking cut all their heads off. And then don't even get me started. I mean, all the terror training camps, they're going to open. They're all opening again. Consider them open. And I bet you they're going to do it in the same spots. Why even change locations? This is what we do here. Okay.
So, boss, we can't go back and change what's happened, right? But we are here. So, what would you do? How would you unfuck what's going on now, if anything?
There's a lot of fuck ups got us here. So let's not assume that where we're at is a start point or a rosy position. Right? And I would just say this, I don't know, but I would tell you this is like, we can't fuck over that many people. And isn't sometimes, and I don't know, man, look, I don't think we should be involved. I don't think we should have got involved, but here we are, right? I think we just made a fucking mess of things. It's a shit show, right? I would say at this point, like, we gotta be smarter. You know what I mean? Kicking ass and take names only applies to the you can't be half pregnant rule. If you're gonna kick ass and take names, you kick that ass. You don't just kick some ass and then wait for the other ass to kick itself, or maybe that it doesn't want to get kicked. No, right? Like, this isn't the way it works. So, I don't know what I would do different, but I would tell you this is you can't treat people like this. There's a lot of good people gonna die. I'm telling you, like, and the news ain't gonna play it because they don't want you to know, right, that that a 300,000 man army full of equipment's gonna be for sale to Iran and shipped in trucks in the next, probably happening now. What do you do? Okay.
Hey, John, we hear a lot on the news about the wholesale surrender of the Afghan military. Do you think there's a chance that any of the guys that you guys trained, the Afghani SF, might pull together and start some insurgency operations? Or is that beyond that?
Okay. I think it boils down to one thing. We can fight them here. We could fight them there. They're going to come fuck with us again. Where you want to fight them, here or there. Right? So, having said that, like, what are the choices? You know what I mean? Which just perpetuates the cycle. Right? Instead of, maybe there's a different way in the modern world, right? I mean, look, maybe it's just me, but what if the Chinese are actually doing biological warfare with COVID? There's better ways to control shit. I can tell you that. So if we wanted to control them somehow, my thing would be just pay for schooling. Let them all come to college here for free. Fuck, everyone's free fucking college anyway. Like, how about fucking help the people who were TERPs, or, right? Because look, they're just gonna die. They're just gonna die. And I'd say this is like, the crazy thing about all of it is like, where's Antifa stand on this? They're for the Taliban. I'm gonna tell you this, spoiled fat rich kid with purple hair who we don't know what sex you are, you're the first one the Taliban will kill. You can't be friends. They won't have it. I don't care what you think, which just kind of blows my mind, because where are they on? Where's the Me Too movement? There's no bigger crime than young girls being fucking raped and murdered because they can read. Where are those guys? Like, They're not going to do shit. Why? Because, and then, why? Because them motherfuckers took the palace and look, they slung their guns on their chest. They're not fucking around. Because they know, guess what? Fucking guns is good. What's going to get it done. They don't want you to have a gun here in America. But you see one guy at the president's desk without one? Seems like they can get you farther than most things, doesn't it? But you can't have one, right? And I would also say this is like, you want to know what an insurrection looks like? The Taliban standing at your desk after dinner. That's what that shit looks like, man. You know what I mean? Like, we got first world problems with that shit around here. Okay. You got it? Yeah. Yeah, the guy pointing at his chest.
Hey, do you think they're going to be successful in exploiting the refugee thing and our open southern border? Do you think the Taliban's going to exploit that?
I think the Taliban's going to be busy for a little while cutting heads off. I think they're going to be busy for a while. So, but I do think that they will allow training camps again. I think they will have the equipment to sell because they'd rather have the cash, right? They'll sell all that equipment to... That's the big thing, you know? Ammunition and enough to run an army. That's not easy to get. They got it. Explosive shit's not easy to get. They got it. They got drones. They got helicopters. They got armored vehicles. It's an instant army. That's why I'm saying there's a parallel here to ISIS. Now, I do believe the Taliban doesn't like ISIS. And I think ISIS hates the Taliban, if I believe correctly, according to the last battle at Tora Bora, which was like 18 or 19. They're awful lot alike, aren't they? Right? And then look, these guys, they just do meth, like, they just do whatever the fuck they want. They don't want to run a society. They want a society where they do whatever the fuck they want. And they don't want you to learn how to read. That's how they control you. Right? And I would say this is, I'd say probably 80, more than 80% of Afghanistan, I bet, is illiterate as well. Word of mouth is easy to control. It's fucking deep, ain't it, man? I do believe we're horrible friends. And I can let go of the Afghan piece. I can let go of, we fought, guys died there. Look, I get it, man. I mean, you know, war is a failure of politics anyway, so you can't blame the guy. So I would say, I would tell all the guys to let it go. But I would say the travesty of humanity that's going to be ignored over the next few months if the Taliban does what the Taliban does, just like ISIS did it in Iraq, things are going to be spicy. I'll drink to that. Cups up. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, Chuck.